Chapter 1: The Boy Who Lived. Mr. and Mrs. Dursley live at number 4 Privet Drive. They are a perfectly normal family. They do not like anything that is different or strange, and they hate mysterious things most of all. They prefer a life that is calm, ordinary, and without any surprises. Mr. Dursley is the director of a large company. He is a very fat man with a very short neck. He has a large mustache. Mrs. Dursley, his wife, is thin and has blonde hair. Her neck is extremely long. She uses her long neck to look over the fence in her garden. She likes to watch her neighbors. She is a gossip. The Dursleys have a young son. His name is Dudley. The Dursleys think Dudley is the perfect son. The Dursleys have everything they want, but they also have a secret. Mrs. Dursley has a sister. Her name is Mrs. Potter. But Mrs. Dursley pretends she does not have a sister. She pretends she does not have a sister because her sister does not live a normal, ordinary life. Mrs. Potter and her husband are very strange and very different. They are very un-Dursley. Like the Dursleys, the Potters have a young son too, but the Dursleys do not want their son Dudley to be around the Potter's son. The Dursleys wake up one Tuesday morning. It seems like a perfectly normal Tuesday morning, but the day is about to change. It is about to become very strange and mysterious. The Dursleys hate strange and mysterious things. While driving to work, Mr. Dursley sees the first strange thing of the day. Near his house, he sees a cat reading a map. Or at least he thinks he sees a cat reading a map. His eyes must be playing games with him. Later, while he is waiting in traffic, he notices many people wearing strange clothes. They are wearing colorful cloaks and capes. Who wears colorful cloaks like that at this time of the year? He thinks to himself. It must be a stupid new fashion that the young people are following. But he notices that some of the strange people are not young at all. They are very old. But the traffic moves forward, and Mr. Dursley forgets about all the strange people he sees. His day at work is very normal. He yells at many people, he makes some important calls, and then he decides to go across the street and have lunch. When he is about to enter his favorite bakery to order a sandwich, he notices another group of people dressed in strange clothes. They are talking together in a group. They seem very excited about something. Mr. Dursley passes by them as he is leaving, and this is what he hears.
The Potters.
You're right. That's what I heard too.
Yes, their son, Harry.
Mr. Dursley cannot believe what he hears. He becomes very scared. He runs back to his office. There are many people named Potter, he thinks, and he is not sure if his nephew is named Harry anyway. He has never seen the boy. He wants to call his wife, but then he decides it is a bad idea. He doesn't want to make his wife upset. She always gets upset when she talks about her sister. It is very difficult for Mr. Dursley to concentrate at work. When it is 5 p.m., he leaves work to go home. As he is leaving his building, he does not see the small man who is standing in front of him. Mr. Dursley walks right into him.
"Sorry,"
says Mr. Dursley. The man he walks into is a small old man wearing a violet cloak. He does not seem angry at all that Mr. Dursley almost knocks him to the ground. On the contrary, he smiles a big smile and says in a very squeaky voice, "Don't be sorry, sir. Nothing could make me upset today. Be happy, because you know who is gone. Even muggles like you, sir, should celebrate. This is a happy, happy day." Then the tiny old man hugs Mr. Dursley and walks away. Mr. Dursley has no idea what has just happened. He does not know the old man, and he does not know what a muggle is either. Mr. Dursley is beginning to hate strange things even more. Mr. Dursley drives home and is very surprised to see the same cat he saw earlier in the morning. The cat is sitting on his garden wall looking at him.
"Shoo! Go away!"
he yells at the cat. The cat does not move. It just sits there on the wall looking at Mr. Dursley as he enters his house. Mr. Dursley tries to act normal around his wife, but it is quite difficult. He and his wife and son have a normal, ordinary dinner. They put little Dudley to bed, and Mr. Dursley has time to sit and watch the news on the TV.
What a strange thing. Bird watchers have noticed very strange behavior by owls all over the country today. Owls are normally only active at night, but today many owls have been seen flying in every direction since this morning. Experts cannot explain this strange behavior. Very, very odd behavior indeed. And now the weather with Jim. Is it going to rain owls later tonight?
Well, Ted,
answers the weatherman.
I certainly hope not. But that is not the only strange thing happening today. People from all over the country have been calling me and telling me they have been seeing falling stars. Thousands and thousands of shooting stars falling from the sky.
Mr. Dursley sits frozen in his chair. Shooting stars all over Britain? Owls behaving strangely? Mysterious people wearing strange clothes and talking about the Potters? At that moment, Mrs. Dursley comes into the living room with 2 cups of tea. Mr. Dursley thinks he has no option. He must say something to his wife.
Petunia, dear, have you spoken to your sister recently?
As expected, Mrs. Dursley looks shocked and angry. Remember, she normally pretends she does not even have a sister.
No,
she says angrily.
Why? Oh, nothing. Just the strange things happening on the news.
owls, shooting stars, and there were funny-looking people in town today. I just thought maybe it had something to do with, people like her." Mrs. Dursley has an angry look on her face. "Their son," continues Mr. Dursley, "would be around Dudley's age now, right? What's his name again? Howard, isn't it?"
"His name is Harry. What a nasty, common name that is,"
answers Mrs. Dursley. "Of course, Harry." Mr. Dursley's heart begins to beat very quickly. "Yes, I agree. A terribly common name." He does not say another word about the topic, and they both go to bed. While Mrs. Dursley is in the bathroom, Mr. Dursley looks out the window into the front garden. The cat is still there on the wall. It is looking down the street, like it is waiting for something. The cat sits on the wall for a long time, like a statue. It does not move. It does not look in any direction except towards the corner of the street at the end of Privet Drive. Finally, very late at night, a man appears on the corner. He appears suddenly and silently. The cat sees him, and its tail begins to move from side to side slowly. The man is tall, thin, and very old. His hair and beard are long and the color of silver. He is wearing long robes and a purple cloak. His eyes are bright blue behind his glasses, which are sitting on his long and crooked nose. His name is Albus Dumbledore. The old man looks towards the Dursleys' house and laughs when he sees the cat. "I should have known," he says. He reaches into his pocket and takes out a device that looks like a cigarette lighter. He holds it up in the air and clicks it. The street light that is closest to him goes out with a little pop sound. He clicks the device again, and another street light pops out. He clicks the device 12 times. The only lights that remain are the 2 small lights of the cat's eyes. Dumbledore puts the device back into his pocket and walks towards the house. He sits down next to the cat. Then he speaks. "Fancy seeing you here, Professor McGonagall." He turns to look at the cat, but the cat is not there. Instead, there is a woman there. She has on glasses, and she is wearing a green cloak, too.
"How did you know it was me?"
she asks.
"My dear Professor, there is only one cat that would sit without moving like a statue."
You would feel like a statue if you had been sitting on a wall all day," says Professor McGonagall.
"You have been here all day? You have not been celebrating? I have seen a dozen parties on my way here."
Professor McGonagall makes an angry sound with her mouth.
"Oh, yes, everyone's celebrating, that's true," she says impatiently. "They should be more careful. Even the Muggles have noticed there is something strange happening. It is on their news programs. Owls behaving strangely, shooting stars. Even the Muggles are not completely stupid." Of course they were going to notice something. Shooting stars in Kent. That was probably Daedalus Diggle who did that. He is not the smartest of us, is he?
You cannot be upset with them, says Dumbledore. We have not had many things to celebrate for the past 11 years.
I know that, says Professor McGonagall, irritated. But we should be more careful. People are out in the streets in bright cloaks and talking openly, and the Muggles can hear them. Can you imagine what would happen if the Muggles discovered who we are, on the same day that you-know-who seems to have disappeared? Do you think he is really gone, Dumbledore?
Please call him by his real name, Voldemort, complains Dumbledore. No one will be scared of him if he is called you-know-who. And yes, it appears that he is gone. It appears they finally stopped him.
Oh, it is so tragic, cries Professor McGonagall. Everyone is saying that last night you-know-who, all right, Voldemort went to Godric's Hollow. He went to find the Potters. The rumour is that Lily and James Potter are... they are saying that they are dead.
Dumbledore closes his eyes with sadness.
Lily and James! I can't believe it. I don't want to believe it. Oh, Albus.
Dumbledore puts a hand on her shoulder to comfort her. Professor McGonagall continues.
That's not all. They say that Voldemort tried to kill the Potter's son, Harry, but he couldn't. He couldn't kill that little boy. No one knows why or how, but they say that when he couldn't kill Harry Potter, Voldemort's power somehow disappeared, and that's why he is gone.
Dumbledore nods his head, agreeing with her.
So it's true. Voldemort was so powerful, but how did Harry survive?
We don't know, answers Dumbledore. We may never know.
Dumbledore takes his watch from his pocket and looks at the time.
Hagrid is late. He told you I was going to come here, didn't he?
Yes, says Professor McGonagall.
So, are you going to tell me why you came here of all places?
I have come to bring Harry Potter to his aunt and uncle. They are the only family he has now.
What? Yells Professor McGonagall. You are leaving Harry with these people? I have been watching them all day. They are the worst people. Harry can't live here.
It is the best place for him, says Dumbledore. His aunt and uncle will be able to explain everything to him when he is older. I have a letter for them.
A letter? Says Professor McGonagall, complaining. Do you think a letter will be able to explain everything? These people do not understand him. Harry will be famous, you know. He will be a legend. Every child in our world will know his name.
Exactly, says Dumbledore seriously. He will not remember any of this. He is too young. It will be better for him to grow up away from all of this until he is ready.
Professor McGonagall thinks for a moment.
Yes, you're right, of course. But how is Harry getting here?
Hagrid is bringing him.
Can you trust Hagrid with something as important as this?
I would trust Hagrid with my life,
answers Dumbledore. Suddenly, from a distance, they can hear a low sound. The sound grows louder and louder until there is a loud roar in the sky. A huge motorcycle falls out of the air and lands on the road in front of them. The motorcycle is huge, but the man riding the motorcycle is twice as tall as a normal man and 5 times as wide. His hair is wild, bushy, and black. His beard covers most of his face. In his vast, muscular arms, he is holding something covered in blankets.
"Hagrid, it is good to see you,"
says Dumbledore.
"I have him, sir. Here he is." "Did you have any problems, Hagrid?"
asks Dumbledore.
"No, sir. The house was almost destroyed, but I rescued him before the Muggles arrived. He fell asleep while we were flying over Bristol."
Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall look at what is wrapped in the blankets. There is a baby boy. He is asleep. On his little forehead, under part of his black hair, there is a strange cut, shaped like a bolt of lightning.
"That is where Voldemort," says Dumbledore. "He will have that scar forever. He may not like it, but he might need it when he grows up. It is time to say goodbye."
Dumbledore takes Harry and places him on the ground in front of the Dursleys' front door. Hagrid leans over the boy and gives him a scratchy kiss with his big beard. There are huge tears of sadness falling from his eyes. Dumbledore takes the letter from his pocket and places it inside the blankets next to little Harry Potter.
"Well,"
says Dumbledore,
"that's that. We must leave now before the Muggles discover us. Goodbye, Hagrid. Professor McGonagall, I guess I will be seeing you soon."
Hagrid wipes his eyes with the back of his hand. He climbs onto his huge motorcycle and disappears into the night. Professor McGonagall blows her nose. She is crying too. Dumbledore walks to the end of the street. He takes out his device and presses the button. 12 balls of light fly back to the street lamps. Before he walks away, he can see a cat walking around the corner of a house across the street. And in front of number 4 Privet Drive, he can see a small pile of blankets.
"Good luck, Harry, until we meet again,"
says Dumbledore. He turns around and disappears into the darkness. On this street, the most normal and most common street in the country, where everyone hates strange and mysterious things, there is the strangest and most mysterious thing of all: Harry Potter, the boy who lived. Chapter 2: The Vanishing Glass. Almost 10 years have passed since the Dursleys discovered Harry Potter at their front door. Dudley is no longer a baby. He is now a large blonde boy of almost 11. In the Dursley house, it is almost like Harry does not exist. There are no photos of him anywhere, but Harry Potter is still there.
Up, up, up! Wake up! Now, let's go!
Harry wakes up suddenly. It is his aunt screaming. She knocks on the door.
Up!
She yells. Harry wakes up and tries to remember the dream he is having. It is a good dream. There is a flying motorcycle in his dream. He thinks he has had the same dream many times before. "I'm awake," says Harry.
Well, get up. I want you to cook us breakfast. And don't burn the bacon. I want everything to be perfect. Don't forget, it's Dudley's birthday.
Dudley's birthday, of course. Harry has forgotten. He gets dressed and opens the door to his room. He sleeps in a small, dark room under the stairs. It is more like a closet than a bedroom. Harry is small and skinny for his age. Maybe that is because he lives in a tiny room under the stairs in his aunt's house. The only clothes he wears are the larger clothes that Dudley does not use anymore. He has a thin face, black hair, and bright green eyes. He wears round glasses. Dudley is a terrible bully to Harry and has broken Harry's glasses many times before. Harry fixes them with lots of tape. The only thing Harry likes about his appearance is a very thin scar on his forehead that is shaped like lightning. Harry has had the scar for as long as he can remember. He remembers asking his Aunt Petunia how he got the scar.
You got that scar in the car crash when your parents died, she tells Harry. And don't ask questions.
Don't ask questions. That is the first rule Harry learns in order to live comfortably with the Dursleys. Harry is cooking breakfast when Dudley comes into the kitchen with his mother and father. Dudley looks a lot like Uncle Vernon. He has a large pink face, almost no neck, blue eyes that are always wet, and thick blonde hair on his fat head. Aunt Petunia says Dudley looks like a baby angel. Harry thinks Dudley looks like a pig wearing a wig. Suddenly, the phone rings, and Aunt Petunia talks quickly with the person on the other line.
Miss Fig has broken her leg. She can't stay with him.
Aunt Petunia looks at Harry when she says this. Dudley looks horrified. That means that Harry will have to come with the family on his birthday adventure. Aunt Petunia looks at Harry as if he has turned into a horrible creature. Uncle Vernon just looks angry. But Harry is excited. He turns to his aunt and says, You can leave me here. I won't blow up the house. Harry likes the idea of spending the afternoon without the Dursleys. It will be like a vacation.
I guess we have to take him to the zoo now, says Aunt Petunia angrily. We can leave him in the car. But it's my special day, cries Dudley.
Dudley is not really crying. He only cries like this to get attention from his parents and to get everything he wants.
I don't want him to come.
But Aunt Petunia and Uncle Vernon and Dudley have no choice. Harry has to come to the zoo with them. "I'm warning you," says Uncle Vernon to Harry. "I'm warning you. You had better behave at the zoo, or I will lock you in your room under the stairs until the new year."
"I'm not going to do anything," says Harry. "I promise."
But Uncle Vernon does not believe him. No one has ever believed Harry Potter. Harry has a wonderful time at the zoo. In fact, he has the best morning he has had in a long time. But he knows that this perfect day cannot last forever. After lunch, they visit the reptile house. It is cold and dark inside, and filled with all kinds of lizards and snakes and other scaly creatures. Dudley wants to see the biggest and most dangerous snake. It is a python that is so big that it could wrap around Uncle Vernon's car twice and crush it like a toy. But at the moment, the python is sleeping. Dudley puts his fat face against the glass and yells to his father,
"Make it move!"
Uncle Vernon knocks on the glass, but the snake does not move a scale.
"Do it again,"
Dudley orders his father. This time, Uncle Vernon knocks loudly on the glass. But the snake continues sleeping.
"This is boring,"
says Dudley, and he walks away. Harry looks into the python's tank. He feels bad for the python. The only people who come to see the snake are stupid people who hit the glass and try to make the snake do something interesting. Harry thinks it must be worse than living in a small room under the stairs, where the only visitor is Aunt Petunia, who knocks on the door to wake him up. At least, Harry thinks, he can visit the rest of the house. Suddenly, the snake opens its small black eyes. It raises its head very, very slowly until it is looking straight into Harry's eyes. Then it winks. Harry looks closely at the snake. Then he looks around quickly to see if anyone is watching. No one is watching. He looks back at the snake, and Harry winks too. Harry begins to speak to the snake.
"It must be very annoying having to deal with all these stupid people who bother you all day."
The snake nods its head up and down quickly.
"Where do you come from?"
Harry asks the snake. The snake points its tail at a little sign next to the glass. Harry looks at it.
"Boa constrictor, Brazil. Was it nice in Brazil?"
asks Harry. The snake points its tail at the sign again, and Harry reads,
"This snake was born in the zoo." "Oh, I see,"
says Harry.
"So, you have never been to Brazil?"
The snake shakes its head from side to side. Suddenly, from behind Harry, there is a very loud shout.
"Mum, Dad, come and look at the snake. Look what it's doing."
It is Dudley. He has seen Harry talking to the snake. Dudley comes walking as fast as his fat body can move and pushes Harry hard to the floor. Then he presses his fat cheeks against the glass and looks inside the tank. Harry looks up at Dudley from the floor. Then, suddenly, Dudley screams. The glass disappears,
and Dudley almost falls into the snake tank. The huge snake climbs out of the tank and slithers along the floor and out of the reptile house. All the people are screaming in fear and panic. As the snake passes quickly by Harry, he thinks he hears the snake say in a low, hissing voice, "Brasil, here I come. Obrigado, meu amigo." Soon, Uncle Vernon, Aunt Petunia, Dudley, and Harry all leave the zoo. Dudley is still terrified. He thinks he was almost eaten alive by the snake. He keeps saying, "Harry was talking to the snake. Didn't you see it? He was talking to the snake. You all saw it, didn't you?" When they get home, Uncle Vernon is so angry with Harry that he has difficulty speaking.
"Go understairs. Stay. No dinner."
Harry has lived with the Dursleys for almost 10 years. 10 miserable years. He has lived with them since his parents died in that car crash. He doesn't remember being in the car when his parents died, but sometimes, when he thinks very hard about his past, he remembers a vision of a bright green light and a burning pain on his forehead. Harry believes this is a distant memory of the car crash, but he does not understand the bright green light. He cannot remember his parents at all. His aunt and uncle never speak to him about them, and, of course, he is not permitted to ask questions. Because of his isolation, Harry has always dreamed and dreamed of someone, some family he does not know, coming and taking him away. But that has never happened. The Dursleys are the only family he has. But sometimes strange things have happened to him. Strangers on the street have come up to him. Very strange strangers, in fact. They look at him in a strange way. They wave at him as if they know him. One strange man, an old bald man with a long purple coat, shakes his hand without saying a word. But when Harry tries to look at these strangers more closely, they seem to disappear. At school, Harry has no friends. Because Dudley is such a bully at school, no one likes to be around strange Harry Potter in his big old clothes. The strange Harry Potter who wears round, broken glasses. Chapter 3. The Letters from No One. Harry receives the worst punishment he has ever received after the escape of the snake. When he is finally allowed out of his little room under the stairs, school is over and the summer holidays have begun. But Harry is excited for the end of summer. When school begins in the fall, for the first time in his life, he will be going to a different school than Dudley. Harry will be going to Stonewall High, and Dudley will be going to the same private school Uncle Vernon went to, Smeltings. One day during the summer, Aunt Petunia goes into London to buy the uniform Dudley must wear at Smeltings. Later that evening, Dudley puts on his brand new uniform and shows his mother and father. Boys who go to Smeltings must wear a maroon jacket, orange shorts, and a straw hat called a boater.
They also must carry a stick, like a cane. They use the stick to hit each other in class while the teacher is not looking. When he sees his son in his new uniform, Uncle Vernon says it is the proudest moment of his life. Aunt Petunia is crying with emotion. Harry has difficulty not laughing out loud. The next morning, when Harry comes into the kitchen, there is a terrible smell. The smell is coming from a large bucket in the sink. It is filled with dirty clothes in gray water.
What is this?
Harry asks Aunt Petunia. She looks at him with an angry look on her face. It is never a good idea to ask questions in the Dursley house.
It is your new school uniform. I am colouring some of Dudley's old clothes for you. It will look like your school uniform when I finish.
Harry does not think it will look like anyone's school uniform. He tries not to think how the other boys will make fun of him when they see him in his new school uniform. After a moment, Uncle Vernon comes into the kitchen with Dudley, who is banging his new smelting stick against the table and walls. They both make a face when they smell Harry's new uniform. Suddenly, they hear the sound of the mailman opening the mail slot in the front door. And then the sound of letters hitting the floor.
"Get the mail, Dudley," says Uncle Vernon.
"Make Harry get it,"
answers Dudley.
"Get the mail, Harry,"
says Uncle Vernon.
"Make Dudley get it,"
answers Harry.
"Go ahead and hit him with your smelting stick, Dudley."
Harry jumps out of the way and runs to get the mail. There are 3 things on the floor at the door: a postcard from Uncle Vernon's sister, Marge, a brown envelope that looks like an electricity bill, and a letter for Harry. Harry picks it up and looks at it. His heart begins to beat very rapidly. No one ever in his whole life has ever written a letter to him. Who would write him a letter? He has no friends. He has no other relatives. But here it is, a letter. The envelope is thick and heavy. The address is written in bold emerald green ink, and it is clearly addressed to him, Mr. H. Potter, The Cupboard Under the Stairs, 4 Privet Drive, Little Whinging, Surrey. There is no stamp on it. When he turns the envelope over, he sees a purple seal made of wax. On the seal there is a lion, an eagle, a badger, and a snake, all around a large letter H.
Hurry up, Harry! Bring the mail in here!
Shouts Uncle Vernon. Harry walks back into the kitchen. He is still fascinated by the letter in his hands. Harry is about to open his letter when suddenly,
"Dad!"
yells Dudley.
"Dad, Harry's got a letter!"
Uncle Vernon pulls it from his hands.
"Hey, that's mine!"
says Harry, trying to get it back.
"Who would be writing a letter to you?"
Uncle Vernon says. Then he opens it and looks at it. His face changes color from red to green faster than a traffic light. Soon it turns gray, like the color of asphalt on the street.
"Petunia!"
he yells. Aunt Petunia takes the letter and reads the first line. It looks like she will faint. She has difficulty talking. She coughs and says, Oh, Vernon! Oh, my goodness! Vernon! They look at each other with scared faces. They completely forget that Harry and Dudley are still in the room. Dudley does not like to be ignored, and he says very loudly, I want to read that letter. I want to read it, Harry says furiously. It is my letter.
Out!
Yells Uncle Vernon.
Both of you!
He pushes Harry and Dudley out of the kitchen and closes the door. Harry and Dudley fight to see who has the best position to listen at the door. Harry loses and has to lay on the floor and look under the door. Dudley listens through the keyhole. They know he's here, says Aunt Petunia. But how do they know where he lives? Under the stairs? They might be following us, spying on us, Uncle Vernon says in a scared voice. What should we do, Vernon? Asks Aunt Petunia. We must ignore it. If they don't get an answer, yes, we won't do anything. Aunt Petunia tries to protest, but
I will not allow one in my house, Petunia. We promised when Harry came to the house that we would avoid all that dangerous behavior.
The next morning at breakfast, everyone is behaving very strangely. Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia both have angry looks on their faces, and they are trying to ignore Harry. Dudley is very angry because he was ignored the day before, and Harry wishes he had opened the letter and read it properly. The mail arrives again while they are at the table. Dudley goes to pick it up off the floor.
There's another letter for Harry,
he yells to his parents.
Mr. H. Potter, the tiniest room in the house, 4 Privet Drive.
Uncle Vernon jumps from his chair and makes a strange sound as he runs to the front door. Harry is running for the door, too. Uncle Vernon fights with Dudley to get the letter from his hands. Harry jumps on Uncle Vernon's back and puts his arms around his neck and tries to grab the letter, too. Uncle Vernon finally wins and takes the letter from Dudley.
Go to your closet, Harry. To your room.
Uncle Vernon is scared. Someone powerful knows where Harry lives. He thinks they will continue to send Harry letters. He will not allow that to happen anymore. He has a plan. Harry also has a plan. He wakes up very early the next morning so he can be the first one to receive the mail. His plan is to wait for the mailman outside on the corner of Privet Drive and get the letters first. Harry is walking down the corridor towards the door. It is very dark. The sun has not risen yet. Suddenly, Harry jumps into the air with fright. It is Uncle Vernon. Uncle Vernon is sleeping on the floor in front of the door, waiting for the mailman too. Harry has just stepped on Uncle Vernon's face. Harry is told to go back to his closet again. Soon Harry can hear the mail slot opening and closing, and the letters fall into Uncle Vernon's hands. Harry looks out of his little room and sees there are 3 letters for him. But Uncle Vernon is tearing them into little pieces. Uncle Vernon does not go to work that day. he is too worried about what is happening. The next day, he is waiting at the door for the letters. 12 letters arrive for Harry that day. Uncle Vernon decides he cannot go to work that day either. After burning the letters, he looks for a hammer and some nails and uses a piece of wood to block the mail slot in the door. He also blocks the front door and back door so no one can come in or leave. On Saturday, things begin to go crazy. 24 letters manage to enter the house. They are hidden in the eggs and under the milk the milkman delivers that morning. Aunt Petunia has to receive them through a small window in the living room. On Sunday morning, Uncle Vernon seems happy and calm.
"The mailman does not deliver mail on Sundays,"
he says while Harry is preparing eggs in the kitchen.
"Finally, no letters today."
Something comes flying rapidly down the kitchen chimney as he is talking. The thing hits Uncle Vernon on the back of the head. In the next instant, 30 or 40 letters come flying out of the chimney like bullets. Uncle Vernon pushes everyone out of the kitchen and shuts the door behind him.
"That's it,"
he says.
"We are leaving. Right now. I want all of you back here in 5 minutes, ready to leave. Pack some clothes and let's go. No arguments."
They all pile into the car. Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia look scared. Dudley is sad because he cannot bring his VCR and video games. They drive and drive and drive. It seems like Uncle Vernon doesn't know where he is going, and no one has the courage to ask him. They do not stop to eat or drink all day. Dudley was almost crying from hunger. It is the worst day of his life so far. They sleep in a dark motel at night and eat dry cereal for breakfast. In the motel, there is a letter waiting for Harry when they check out. "Excuse me, is one of you Mr. H. Potter? This here letter arrived this morning," the receptionist says to Uncle Vernon as they are leaving. Written in green ink on the envelope is the address, Mr. H. Potter, Room 17, Railview Hotel, Cokeworth. Harry tries to grab the letter, but Uncle Vernon is faster. Soon they are back in the car and on the road. They drive for hours. No one knows what he is looking for. They drive through forests and fields. Uncle Vernon stops in the middle of a long bridge and looks around, but he obviously does not like what he sees. He gets back into the car and drives away.
"Daddy has gone crazy, hasn't he?"
Dudley asks Aunt Petunia as they stop in a parking garage near the sea.
"It's Monday. I want to watch the new episode of The Great Umberto,"
he continues. Monday, thinks Harry. Then he remembers. Tomorrow is his 11th birthday. His birthdays are never fun, but turning 11 only happens once in your life. Uncle Vernon returns to the car after going into a shop near the parking garage. He is carrying something long and thin in a paper bag.
"Out, out, everyone out. I found the perfect place. Let's go,"
he says. Uncle Vernon is pointing into the distance, out into the sea. He is pointing at a little cabin on a rock far into the water. For sure there is no television on that island, thinks Harry. They walk down to the pier and get into a little boat with oars.
"All aboard!"
yells Uncle Vernon. It is very cold in the boat. The wind is beginning to blow very hard, and it starts to rain. A storm is coming. They row for hours until they reach the rock island. They climb an old path up to an old, broken-down house. It is horrible inside. It smells like old seaweed and fish. The wind and the rain come through holes in the walls and ceiling. There are only 2 rooms, and Harry has to share a wet and uncomfortable room with Dudley. As night comes, the storm begins to blow stronger and louder. Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia go to sleep in one dirty bed, and Dudley sleeps in the other bed in the other room. Harry has to find the softest place on the hard floor. He has only a dirty old blanket filled with holes to keep him warm. Harry cannot sleep. He waits excitedly as his birthday comes closer and closer. Just before midnight, he begins to hear strange sounds from outside. Something hard hitting a rock. Noises that sound like footsteps. 30 seconds to go. 20, 10, 9. Harry thinks about waking Dudley up just to annoy him. 3, 2, 1. Boom! The whole house shakes. Harry sits up in surprise. He looks at the door. There is someone outside. They want to come in. Chapter 4. The Keeper of the Keys. The knock comes again. Uncle Vernon runs into the room.
"Who's there?"
he shouts. He is holding a rifle in his hands. Now everyone understands what he was carrying in the bag the day before.
"Who is it? I warn you, I have a gun."
There is a pause.
Smash!
The door is hit so hard that it breaks and comes flying into the room.